All right, let's just get right into it. In just the last 30 days, the entire world of AI got completely flipped on its head. I'm talking about ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. All of them just dropped their biggest updates ever. We spent over 100 hours putting all three to the test, and honestly, the results are pretty shocking. And I'm not exaggerating. This wasn't just some minor update. No, this was a total reset of the entire AI race. Everything you thought you knew about these tools, even just a month ago, it's probably wrong now. And that's really the heart of it, right? The best AI for, say, writing an email is definitely not the best one for planning your night out. And get this, one of these is now so good for free that paying that $20 a month might be a complete waste of money for you. So, what on earth just happened? Well, it was basically a tidal wave of new releases that changed the whole game almost overnight. It all kicked off in late November when Anthropic dropped Claude Opus 4.5, which took a huge leap in understanding really complex ideas. Then, just a bit later, Google fired back with Gemini 3, now hooked directly into Google's live search results. And just when we thought we could catch our breath, OpenAI launched GPT 5.2. I mean, three giants, three massive updates, all in one crazy month. So for anyone who's kind of new to this whole scene, let's do a quick intro to our contenders. And by the way, you can try all three of these for free. No credit card, no excuses. First up, you've got ChatGPT. This is the famous one, right? The OG viral sensation that kicked off this whole AI revolution. It's the reliable, kind of does everything player in the game.
Then there's Claude. Think of it as the challenger. It was actually built by people who left OpenAI because they had a different vision. They wanted to make an AI that was more helpful and, more honest. And spoiler alert, they might have actually done it.
And finally, we have Gemini. This is Google's baby. It's plugged directly into Google Search, Google Maps, pretty much everything they own. And that gives it a kind of superpower that the other two just don't have. Okay, enough with the introductions. We put these three AIs through a bunch of real-world tests, stuff that you would actually use them for, to figure out which one is right for you. First up, the email test. We asked each one to write that super awkward, nerve-wracking email asking for a raise. Gemini's version, it felt like a corporate template, just stiff. ChatGPT's was solid, very professional. But Claude? It sounded like a real human being wrote it. It was nuanced, confident. It was the only one you'd actually feel good about sending. So next, we asked a really simple question. What restaurant should I go to tonight? And this is where things got really interesting. Because ChatGPT and Claude are basically living in the past. Their knowledge just stops in early 2025. Only Gemini is connected to the live internet. And this just shows the difference perfectly. We asked about a local place, and Gemini not only recommended it, but mentioned a new special they had literally added to their menu the day before. The other two, no idea. So for anything happening right now, Gemini's the only game in town. All right, now for the controversial one, the honesty test. We gave all three of them a business plan that had some really obvious, critical flaws. And then we asked for feedback. And wow, their responses could not have been more different. So ChatGPT did what it often does. It acted like your biggest cheerleader. It praised the plan, said the ideas were great, and then gave some suggestions to enhance them. It totally danced around the real fundamental problems. But Claude? Oh, Claude was brutally honest. Its first sentence was basically, hey, before we go any further, I gotta point out three major issues with your core assumptions. It wasn't mean about it, it was just direct. And this is probably the most important thing to remember. ChatGPT tells you what you want to hear, Claude tells you what you need to hear. And that human touch goes for creative stuff too. I have a friend who was struggling to write a wedding speech. So, on a whim, she gave all the details to Claude. And the result was so personal, so heartfelt. People actually cried. For any kind of creative writing that needs real emotion, Claude is just in a league of its own. Okay, so we've seen what they're good at, but what about the free versions? This is where the choice gets really, really clear. ChatGPT's free version, it actually uses a weaker, older model. Claude is great, but you hit your usage limit really fast. Gemini, on the other hand, gives you its full power model, generous limits, and that real-time info. The best free AI isn't who you think. It's Gemini, and it's not even close. Which, of course, brings us to the big question, should you even bother spending $20 a month for a pro subscription?
Here's the simple breakdown. If you're just using AI for fun, asking random questions, doing basic stuff, stay free and use Gemini. If you use AI for your job, for writing, for analysis, for feedback, Claude Pro is worth every single penny. ChatGPT Plus is a decent all-arounder if you want a bit of everything. And yeah, there are now these crazy $250 a month tiers for power users, but that is a whole other story.
And you know what? Professionals are voting with their wallets. In the business world, we're seeing this massive shift. Just 2 years ago, OpenAI had about 50% of the enterprise market. Today, Claude has actually taken the lead with 32%, and OpenAI has dropped to 25%. Companies are switching sides.
And here's why. Anthropic gave their new Claude model the exact same super hard engineering test they give to human job applicants. The result? Claude scored an 80.9%, which is higher than any human candidate has ever scored. I mean, that is just a mind-blowing level of capability.
Okay, so after all those tests, all that data, where do we land? Let's break it down. The final verdict, category by category. For writing that needs to sound truly human, it's Claude. For anything about today's news, prices, or what's going on, Gemini. For looking at videos and images, Gemini is the clear leader there. For the best free experience, period, it is Gemini by a mile. For honest, critical feedback, it's gotta be Claude. For the jack of all trades, the one that does a little bit of everything pretty well, ChatGPT is still a solid choice. But if you have to pick just one to pay for...
So what does all this mean for you right now? Well, the game has totally changed, and it's probably time to update your toolkit.
Look, these December updates were a huge deal. If you're still just using the same AI you were using last year, you are getting left behind. The best thing you can do is just go try all 3 of them today. They're free. See which one feels right for you.
So now I want to hear from you. After all this, are you on Team ChatGPT, Team Claude, or Team Gemini? Let me know which one you're picking in the comments below. Let's see who wins. This stuff is changing faster than ever, and you really don't want to miss what's coming next.